Y'all mean to tell me that it should just be okay to want children but not to want marriage? That's insane. Like when you say it out loud, I want kids but I don't want no husband. Logically, like, does your children even matter? Like, you want a child for your own selfish reasons, but what about the family that your child, deserves? How are you risking your life to make such a huge commitment to give to a man, but you don't want marriage? Why not? Here, this woman commented on my post telling me that I'm projecting and she never desired to be married, blah, 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 blah. So I asked her, do you have children? This is her response. My personal business is none of yours, but at the end of the day, marriage is not a priority for me, never has been. AKA, I got kids and I'm not married. My question again, if you don't want to have kids, then cool. I ain't pressuring you to get married, but why not be married if you want kids?
A donor, I've heard his voice. I have an MP3 file of him telling his own life story. Why you felt you wanted to donate. And this was important. His willingness to be contacted when my child turns 18. So when my daughter's 18 years old, if she would like to find out her paternal identity, as I wanted to do when I was 38, she doesn't even have to wait that long and go through all that rigmarole that I had to do. Hire a geneticist, hire a detective. Here is his last known address, and he is anticipating your contact.
Yep.
Childhood photos, adult photos, keepsake, essays from him, from the nursing staff, first impression, what he does for a living, his educational background, his SATs. I mean, it's just a litany. So for me, it felt like a much safer choice.
Yeah.
It felt like a more legally astute choice. It gives me much less exposure, risk and exposure.
Get the French toast out of here.
Sorry, hold on.
Are we living in a twilight? In a twilight zone?
This is Ebony, right?
This is Ebony, the woman that said the bus driver ain't good enough, but you have a child from a sperm donor, but the bus driver wasn't good enough.
When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it, if he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver.
And then rationalize by saying, oh, I've got recordings, I've got this from him, I've got that from him, than actually having the father present. This is selfish and that's jacked up.
It is.
She has to be a plant. I'm sorry, but any woman co-signing that. So you willingly wouldn't accept the bus driver or a man, but you'd raise your child without a father, put them through the same situation similar to you when you know how it affected you. You're a plant. You're trying to push to black women. This is the way. This is what you should be doing. The man don't mean ish.
He doesn't. I couldn't get past how she looks right now. This is crazy. I had to look a good couple times. I'm like, is this the same person? Like, she's looking messed up right now. So
she's looking messed up and sounding it, but we're not even attacking the looks. I'm just saying, you're telling me the bus driver ain't good enough.
Yeah, she is saying the bus driver ain't good enough.
You're a single mother by choice, but you didn't have to be.
No, she is definitely showing black women or trying to push that this is the right way to go, and it's really not. Like you said, you'd rather this and have to go through all of this instead of having having a man. You have a man, you make sure that he is committed to you just like you are to him. You have a happy home, you have a child. After having the child, you have the man in the house.
Not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
You're telling me that you would prefer to live in dysfunction and palm that off as if that's normal.
It just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
For me, that's a no-no. And any sisters listening to that, don't do it.
Don't.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not it. Sorry.